Welcome back, Metalstorm pilots. Plasma here. We're looking at Mirage 2000, its chaff and dogfighting abilities, and for other Metalstorm players who do not fly the Mirage, there is some very interesting tips in this short video about dogfighting. So let's get into the Mirage 2000. This is part 2. For part 1, click on the link that's going to appear on this video. First off, you have the chaff ability on the Mirage 2000. The chaff will spoof and confuse any radar-guided missiles that are fired at you, but there's a special way of using it. First off, you should start deploying the chaff once the enemy missile is in the air, a while before it gets to you. That will confuse and break the missile. The second part is not to fly directly into missiles. Here, as you can see, the missile flew by and it's time to get into a dogfight. But if you're heading head-on into an enemy missile, using the chaff will not do much, as the missile will likely hit you and still explode, as you can see here. Oof, painful. The best way to defend a missile like that is a long-range missile, and you start deploying the chaff when the missile is about halfway its distance to you. Right there, flew right by and went for the chaff. Now here we can see the missile coming in from an F-14 Tomcat. It's an AIM-54 Phoenix. There's the chaff, and the enemy missile flies right by. Here's the view from the Tomcat. The missile heads in, you apply the chaff, and it goes for the chaff, and you are safe. Here's another view of it. And as you can see, the trick is not to use the chaff and flares when it's close by. With chaff, you have to start deploying it a while before the missile gets to you, because the missile appears to track the last position where you started using the chaff. So if you use it too late, the missile will still hit you because of its proximity. So here I'm applying chaff late and I still get hit. Here's an example of a late chaff deployment. The missile is going to hit me, and the other thing I noticed is adding a little bit of afterburner also helps you get out of the way of the missile. So if you're just cruising along, no good. But try to use chaff when the enemy missile is coming at you from range and start deploying it early in advance. And again, head on, not going to help you. Now, let's say you've defeated that missile and you're going to go into a dogfight. The Mirage 2000 has a little bit of a problem. Even though it has the extra fuel tanks for afterburner fuel, it's very slow at recovering that afterburner ability, which means to get to the ideal turn rate, that's the bar on the left side with the rectangle, you'll have to go into a turn fight. Here, we're doing a one-circle fight. The F-14 is on my 6 o'clock trying to get into a position for a shot. I'm using everything I can to keep its nose from pointing at me, using whatever afterburner I can and just trying to keep it off my tail. But as you can see, it's not really working out doing this. That's because the Mirage's afterburner recovery is way too slow and its speed is just not enough to keep it in a turn fight. I reversed here and that Tomcat is still on me. As long as I keep doing these circles, there's no way of getting out of this. So what do you do? Well, after I got peppered here, I decided to break the mold and go into what's known as a scissors fight. And that is a rapid turn, hitting the brakes, and turning in again. And eventually, the Mirage will get a firing solution here. The most important thing is keeping these turns tight so that even if the enemy fires a missile, you won't be able to get hit by it. Here we go again, and as you can see, this is a scissors fight. Very common dogfighting maneuver, but the scissors is the only way for the Mirage to win against most aircraft. So after a couple of turns, I have enough afterburner to point my nose at the enemy and take out the enemy aircraft. Now we're dealing with an Su-30. He's fired a missile, I've used chaff to defeat it, and a little bit of afterburner, and now we're going to go into a close-up dogfight. Now I'm going to grab extra fuel here, and I've got afterburner, so I've got quite a bit of gas here. I avoid his shots by going vertical, avoiding his bullets. He goes vertical as well. Go nose to nose. As you can see, I've got plenty of afterburner. I'm trying to turn as hard as I can to try to get onto his 6 o'clock for either missiles or guns. Burning through my afterburner, but the Mirage is just too slow. I can't even get to my ideal turn speed here, despite using full afterburner. Other aircraft, such as a MiG-21, can actually do this because its afterburner fuel recovery is much faster, but the trick here is to try to reverse. So I did a reverse. He tries to go for guns. I jink out of the way just a little bit, and jinking is when you try to move your wings in a position so that the enemy can't hit you. Now, knowing that I can't keep going in turns, I break down hoping to get more afterburner fuel. Doesn't quite work out. I desperately try to go for a 6 o'clock one more time, but as you can see, that SU is just turning better than I can. So what does it mean? Well, we go into the scissors that I showed you before. So going in, pointing my nose, avoiding the gunshots, and then reversing one more time, and we're going to get a good firing solution here. We've built up just enough afterburner and knock out the enemy. So there you have it. Some dogfighting and some Mirage chaff use. Plasma's out of here, and as always, subscribe, comment, and like.